Yo, what's up guys? It's Isaac Plays here, and today we're gonna be doing a Mortal Kombat movie review. What? I'm gonna be doing a lot more movie reviews, like to come, like even old movies like the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie. Like I want to movie review that, like as a big anime Dragon Ball fan. Like I want to anime those things. In the background, we have some Horizon Zero Dawn playing. I'm stuck in this mission. I cannot beat it. But you guys are gonna watch me fail and completely get murked and stuff. So I want to say right off the bat that the Mortal Kombat movie was not a bad movie. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it definitely was not perfect. It was not the movie that I thought that it was going to be, because I thought it was going to be absolutely amazing with like how like the new like CGI and stuff would be, and like how awesome like the new cast would be. But in my opinion, I honestly prefer the old Mortal Kombat. Maybe because I just grew up with it, but I prefer the old Mortal Kombat more. I watched the Mortal Kombat movie 2 days ago, and I watched the old Mortal Kombat movie last night. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, the fight scenes in the new Mortal Kombat movie way better, 100% way better. They actually had real people that knew martial arts and knew how to fight in the new movie, and you can tell. In the old movie there was a lot more how do I say it? There was a lot more hesitation towards one another, and you can definitely see in the new movie that like they weren't afraid to accidentally hit the girl, which is like I find that hilarious to me, because in the old movie, when they were like, let's say this, when Kano was fighting Sonya Blade, there was a lot less heaviness in the attacks, and you can see that he was hesitating to hit her because he didn't want to hit her. But in the new movie, that's not there, and you can see, because they're true people that know how to fight and true martial artists, and it shows. I'm not saying that in the old movie, like Liu Kang was an actual martial artist, because they were, but like some of them were, like Sonya Blade wasn't, Jax wasn't, definitely Kano wasn't, but you can tell that in the new movie they got real martial artists and real like fighters to fight, and it definitely shows. So now we're going to be talking about the character and how the characters differ from the old movie to the new movie. So I want to start off by saying the Kano for the new movie, absolutely perfect in every way. It was funny yet serious, but the Kano that you would expect from like the video game, and the definite Kano that I expected. But there was a difference, because in the old movie, the Kano that we got sounded more fake than the new one. The new one sounded perfect. It was, in my opinion, the Kano for that was absolutely perfect. He killed that role, and I want to say that I'm proud of that, because I really wanted Kano to be really good. The only thing I didn't like about Kano was it differed from the old movie, because he didn't have the metal plate on his eye. Instead, he got scratched, and then we'll talk about the powers and stuff in a little bit. But I want to say that the character for Kano was absolutely amazing. So now we're going to talk about Liu Kang. With Liu Kang, there was a lot more character development for the old movie, and I much more appreciated that than the new movie. In the new movie, with all of the characters in the movie, it was much more rushed and much more in your face than the old movie. And the old movie was much more laid back, and they took their time to introduce everything and introduce everyone. But in this one, it was like boom, 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 all these characters coming at you at once, boom, 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 and we didn't get that much like character development, and I didn't really like that too much. But I mean, hey, I mean, it was like, I think the new movie was like an hour and 30 minutes, and the old movie was like almost 2 hours. So yeah, I also want to talk about Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I loved the beginning fight scene between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Absolutely perfect. In the old movie, they actually worked together for the first movie. The second movie, they didn't. Well, the second movie, the whole Sub-Zero's dead. But in the old movie, they actually worked together. But in this one, they're against each other, and it fits much more with the storyline. And that character, I died, by the way. It fits much more with the storyline, and I appreciate that so much more. The movie, I mean, the fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion is absolutely perfect in every way. So I want to now talk about Sonya and Jax and how their characters differ from the old movies. I much more prefer the old Sonya Blade, but the new Jax, which is weird to say. In the old Sonya Blade, she acted much more much different towards like Kano and stuff, and much different towards Jax. She respected them more in a way, we'll say. But because in the new movie with Sonya Blade, she was very adequate about finding out what the tournament was, rather than about Kano and looking for him. Which, I mean, she had Kano captured, and they worked together, which I really did not like that, like, premise of the movie. But Sonya was, she just didn't fit a lot with the new movie, and Jax fit perfectly, which is completely opposite and completely different. I much more like how Sub-Zero froze his arms and broke them in new movie, and how he got them. It was perfect compared to the old movie. I completely forgot how he got him in the old movie, by the way. But in the new movie, it fit perfectly with the storyline, how Sub-Zero was chasing them. We'll talk about more story in a little bit. This is gonna be a long movie, I just realized, but it was perfect. Sorry if you guys hear noise in the background. But I don't know, just Jax fit much more than Sonya Blade, in my opinion. Okay, so I don't want to take too much time talking about the characters, because the characters pretty much explain themselves. If you watch the old movie, you can pretty much tell a lot of the difference. But I want to talk about, excuse me, I want to talk about Kung Lao and how he differs from the old movie. In the old movie, Kung Lao wasn't really there, from what I can remember, at least. I don't know. I didn't finish the old movie. I fell asleep. But okay, in the new movie, it was like they showed up at the temple, and then out of nowhere, boom, Kung Lao's there. And I was really confused, because I was like, okay, if he's there, then how? He just showed up out of nowhere, and I really wished he would have came with Liu Kang, so it could have showed their character like development together growing up. Because he talks about how he found Kung Lao at the Wuxi Academy, and then like it doesn't show any like bonding between them like at all. And I really wish they would have shown more of that, because like when Kung Lao dies, Shang Tsung, I mean not Shang Tsung, Liu Kang is so broken over it, and yet there's like no like backstory behind them at all, and I just wish there was more between them so that we could have seen more character development and we could tell why he's so emotional over the death of Kung Lao. And I feel like it would have just been way better for the movie overall. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to the storyline difference from the old movie to the new movie. And real quick, it's gonna do a little transition to Rainbow Six Siege because I rage quit. That was so bad. Because I ran out of video for Horizon Zero Dawn. But so the difference in movie, like story base, and how they got into a tournament, I much more enjoyed the old movie compared to the new movie, because sorry for the place, in the old movie it was like, okay, Liu Kang had a reason to go. His brother died, he wants revenge. Sonya wants to go because she's following Jax. Johnny Cage wants to go because he was set up by what the hell is his name? Shang Tsung. Also, I want to say the Shang Tsung in the old movie was way better than the new one. The new one had like 5 minutes screen time the most. But anyway, it just fit more with the story compared to the new one. New one, he so okay, let me explain the new one. In the new one, how like the combatants were choose for Mortal Kombat was they got a weird, strange mark on them, and from the mark, that's how they were chosen.
Oh, he's back.
Which, in my opinion, kind of makes like no sense at all. But like I said, the new movie, they all have a reason to go, and this one, the only reason they're given is because they get a tattoo, or they get a in quotes strange marking. It just, I don't know. The old movie, how they made it was, in my opinion, more pleasing to watch for the storyline and story base, at least, you know? It just makes more sense. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to talk about the story and how unbelievably like fast they made it for absolutely no reason.
Run.
So in the new Mortal Kombat, it was very rushed. Like, you could see that they were on like a time schedule or something like that, because they introduced everyone so quickly.
He was in the same spot. He just didn't move.
They introduced Hanzo Masashi. No character development for him at all. The only character development that we got was he had a kid and a wife, and he cared a lot for them. There was Bihan. Barely any character development for Bihan at all. So we couldn't see how much Bihan and Hanzo hated each other. His son, which is he Striker. I still don't know who Hanzo's son is, but like, I don't know how he fits into the story at all. Like, he's just like thrown in, and he was a UFC fighter or a martial arts fighter, and he gets his ass beat, and then he says that, and then like the dude that's with him says that he's the best martial artist in the world. Makes no sense. Sonya or Jax, no character development for him at all. Just that he was watching Liu Kang for a while, defending him, and then he gets out, fights Sub-Zero, tells him to go to Sonya Blade. Barely any character development for Sonya and Kano. I mean, Kano, he has the jokes, which, I mean, I guess you could say that his way of being characterly developed, but it just, they're thrown in so fast and so quickly they had enough
You know that
money.
one wall
If they had enough
they
money
put
to do the
in between
CGI
seconds?
and hire people that
In that corner right there.
like aesthetically look pleasing for the movie, then they had enough money to make the movie at least 2 hours,
Yeah, and back there.
like 2 hours and 30 minutes, because it was only an hour and like 38 minutes, and in that hour and 38 minutes, we got introduced to all of these characters with zero character development and like zero, like you can't tell that they're emotionally into the movie or into the acting role like you can in the old movie.
Careful, try not to let windows hurt you.
The only real like emotional scene in the movie that we get is the
They have a twitch.
scene where Liu Kang finds out that Kung Lao dies, and I find that really sad because they could have set up the movie so well and perfectly, but they didn't. So now I want to talk about the powers and how they get their powers, like Liu Kang, how he gets his I was that right there. Like how Liu Kang gets his fireball and Kung Lao gets his hat that is mystical, or how he describes it like wind power. I don't remember.
I know.
In the new movie, it's very different from what I can remember. Like, let's say here in it, Liu Kang describes that how he gets his power. He trains, and that's it. Which I mean, in the old movie, there was a lot less powers. In the first movie, there was much more fighting, and the only powers that we got were Sub-Zero and Scorpion, Shang Tsung, and a little bit of Johnny Cage. You could see him do his like shadow kick. But you can definitely tell.
As good as Jacob. Jacob's really.
I didn't like the idea of Kano getting getting a red eye. He got scratched by a reptile, which we'll talk about reptile right now. I did not like the new reptile at all. He was in the movie. Well, in the old movie, he was in the old movie for 5 minutes as well. But in the new movie, he was in the movie for 5 minutes and got absolutely obliterated by no one. And I found that really funny in a way. But
I don't know why it's so loud.
like the old reptile. Wait, what was I talking about before? Hold on. Sorry, I have to go check my recording and see what I was talking about. I got off track. I didn't like how Kano got his powers, but I like how he developed his powers getting pissed off over a drumstick. I found, or an egg roll, sorry. I found that absolutely hilarious, and it fit so well with the movie. It fit so perfectly, and it gave me a little chuckle. I didn't like that Sonya Blade fought Kano. Okay, I really didn't like this, I should say. I did not at all like how Sonya Blade fought Kano, and then in the end immediately got her powers right after fighting him, when everyone in the movie had to go over a whole bunch of training and she barely went under training. So I liked. Okay, we'll talk about Goro for a second, because in
made it free.
The new one, I liked him more simply because he had less dialogue. I didn't like that Goro could talk really in the old one. But I just realized I'm really loud on my mic. I watched this in the clip. But I like him a lot more. And the old one, you could see the size difference to Cole, which is Hanzo's son, to him, and he's massive as hell. But that's pretty much all I have to say. He's alright in the new one. He just doesn't show his strength too much because Cole completely out boxes him in a way. But now we're gonna talk about Hanzo's son, because I did not like Hanzo's son at all. We're also gonna talk about Scorpion in a little bit because I want to get a little more on that. but I did not like Hanzo's son one bit, simply because I didn't know who he was. I don't know if he was supposed to be Striker. I don't know if he was supposed to be a new character. It's not really said, but I was thinking he was Striker because he gets like those little baton shits just with knives on them. And I did not like that like a lot at all. I didn't like that he got batons, and then like he had like a gold skin suit over him.
Oh, I just killed myself. I'm an idiot.
I just murdered myself like a dumbass. But like,
Let's go,
like
Jordan.
the gold skin suit, in my opinion, like doesn't go well with who he is. Which, who the hell knows who he's supposed to be? Because I don't know. I don't know if he's supposed to be, like I said, I don't know if he's supposed to be Striker. I don't know if he's supposed to be new character. I don't know if he's supposed to be like the reincarnation of Scorpion. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But now we're gonna go into his father, because I loved when he was alive that he had the spear attached to the rope, and he was using that to fight Bihan. And that was so good. It was so, I love that fight scene so much. But I think that was the only, like, in my opinion, the only really good fight scene that there was. No offense to the movie, but I did not like any other fight scene other than that one. Everything seemed, you know, the scene where Hanzo comes back and he's fighting Bihan with his son. That's a very good scene as well. That's a very good fight scene. I was very, very hyped up for that one. And it just fit well. It just fit very, very well with the movie. But like, you couldn't really tell that that Hanzo was dead. Like, it wasn't really like you can like actually see that he was dead. The only thing that you could see was that he came out of a fireball and helped his son. It was not what I expected, but it was okay. I did enjoy when Sub-Zero burned, because it did bring homage to the old movie and to the video game as well. But I just like I said, I would just wish that there was a lot more character development for all of the characters, because it would have set the movie up so much more, and I feel like they could make more money if they would have done that. They could have made the movie another 30 minutes, and I feel like people wouldn't really like care, because because Mortal Kombat is such a big franchise, and it would have been so good if they would have done that, but they didn't. It's cool. Okay, I want to talk about the ending of the movie. I did not like that it ended with the Johnny Cage poster. Because it just ended there. Like, it didn't show anything else. And I wish they would have left it on a different cliffhanger, because Johnny Cage isn't really that much of a hype character. Like, I feel like they could have chosen anyone else. Literally anyone else. They could have chose freaking whatever that one dude's name that like everyone hates. And it would have been so much better than Johnny Cage. I don't know. It's just that Johnny Cage, like, they make him seem like such a badass fighter, but I feel like in any fight, Cole could completely destroy him. Maybe it isn't true, but there is going to be a second Mortal Kombat movie for sure. When will it come out? I don't know. Hopefully not anytime soon. Hopefully they give us like I cannot speak English. Hopefully they give it like a year or two, maybe a year and a half. But it's on a cliffhanger, and there's gonna be part 2 for sure. I just wish they could have set it up differently, because it would have looked way better. Yeah, there's not really much else that I have to say about the movie. I pretty much got every premise of the movie and don't really have anything else. It got a 65% on the Rotten Tomato scale, which, I mean, that's not that bad, but it's not that good. It got a 7 out of 10 on the IMDb. I don't know. I like the movie. I mean, I wish they would have added more time to the movie, because it would have been so much better. Like, it would have been so much better.
I blew it. Hello.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. There's not much else. I enjoyed the movie a lot, but they could have done better, in my opinion. So that's my first movie review. I can't really remember anything else that I wanted to say, so I'm pretty sure that's everything. I want to thank you guys for watching or listening, watching and listening. It was fun. I'm definitely gonna do more of these, because I like describing movies and explaining how these movies differ and stuff. I think the next one that I want to do is the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie, Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, my bad, and differ those, because I'm a really big Dragon Ball anime fan, so my opinion is gonna be so biased, but hopefully it's worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This my first ever movie review. Because it was a lot of fun to make, and there will definitely be more of these coming. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, subscribe to become a Super Saiyan, and I'll see you guys in the next video and in the next movie review later.